She no ruin a recipe.
Oh, hey. I'm about to do something that's gonna get me banned from Italy for life. This is the best homemade pizza dough without yeast. Don't tell your Nona.
What you think she is?
Delivery pizza's great, but homemade pizza? Now we're talking. Now, a lot of times you don't want to make pizza dough from scratch because it can take forever. Thanks a lot, yeast. But what if we took the yeast out of the equation? And that's exactly what I did back in 2020 when yeast was impossible to find. And the result? A viral pizza dough that I still make to this very day. I'm starting with 2 cups of all-purpose flour. Remember, we're doing the spoon and level method. We are going to actually aerate our flour so we get exactly 2 cups. Spoon and level. Two cups, we'll repeat that one more time. And this recipe just kind of happened by accident. I genuinely could not find yeast at all back in 2020. And because I have 1,000,001 kids, we eat pizza every single week. So I had to figure out a way to make pizza dough without all of these crazy ingredients. So 2 cups all-purpose flour, a pinch of salt, and then 2 teaspoons of sugar. And this just really contributes to the flavor. Now for the most important ingredient, because we are not using yeast, we're gonna use baking powder. 2 1/4 teaspoons of baking powder. And let me tell you something, it took me a while to get these measurements correct. Lucky for you, this recipe has now been tried and tested by hundreds of thousands of people all over the world. I'm talking like hundreds of 5-star reviews. This is the internet's favorite no yeast pizza dough. And just 2 more ingredients then. 3/4 cup water and 2 tablespoons olive oil. Then we're gonna mix it up. I also love that all of this takes place in a single bowl. Now, because we're not using yeast, there's no need to proof it and wait for the dough to rise and all of that, but we are mixing together flour with water, which really tightens those gluten strands. And we wanna make sure that our flour is chill and laid back so that when it comes time to roll it, it's smooth sailing. Once this is mixed together, you're gonna knead it for about a minute on your work surface, and this just helps create a smoother texture. I can already feel the baking powder in this dough doing its thing. It is so light, it's so airy. Now I need to get more flour, but wait, close your eyes 1 second. You didn't see that, and you didn't see that. Okay, quick knead here. I'm talking like under a minute. The texture of this dough is absolutely wild. I mean, Dustin, can you see how like light and just, it's a beautiful dough. 6 simple ingredients, and 2 of those are water and salt. So what this kneading does is it just kind of brings all of those ingredients together, and it makes for a nice smooth top like that. So we are gonna pop this back into the bowl now. No need to make anything else dirty. And we're gonna cover it with a towel and let it rest for 15 minutes, just so that flour can chill out. Chill. All right, while the dough's resting, let's talk about toppings. I am a bit of a purist when it comes to pizza toppings. I'm not talking like margarita purist. I'm just talking a little meat, a little vegetable. We'll keep it pretty basic. Green pepper, first up. I'm gonna just cut this into thin strips. Fun fact, when I was doing my on-camera test for the Food Network Kitchen, which is where I did my culinary school internship, I actually failed this part of the test. So it's a pretty notorious test to get into the kitchens there. And I was finished with culinary school. I was figuring out where to do my stage. And they had me actually seeding a bell pepper. And so I cut it like this. I was like rocking it. I was doing great. But then I left the tiniest bit of the white pith here on. Failed, but I still got the internship. But just so you guys know, if you're ever wondering what is required of the test in the Food Network kitchens, you must remove this part right here. It's not good on camera, and it's a little bit more bitter than the rest of the pepper. So I'm just gonna cut down and across, and we'll discard it. But I cannot cut a pepper and not think of that story. But hey, look, we still made it. And then the rest of my toppings are just straight from the can or from the bag. So I've got some black olives, some pepperoni. These are those cup and crisp ones, so they get nice and crispy and are so good. Just some good old pizza sauce. You can make your own or buy the store-bought stuff. And then some shredded mozzarella cheese. I like using shredded cheese instead of the fresh mozzarella because I find that with fresh mozzarella, you get that pooling water from all the liquid when the pizza cooks. And we want to make sure that our crust stays thin and crispy. Dough done, toppings done. What are we going to cook it on? If you don't have a pizza stone, which I personally do not, you are going to use an inverted baking sheet. So baking sheet has this lip around it, makes it kind of hard to get under the pizza. Just flip it over and then give it a generous coating of cornmeal. The cornmeal not only prevents the pizza from sticking on the bottom, it also helps contribute to that crispy, chewy crust. Let's grab our dough, and I'm gonna lightly flour the work surface here, just so it doesn't stick. And I like to start by pressing it out with my fingers, but because that gluten has rested, it has time to really chill, relax, which is gonna make it much easier to roll out. I'm gonna add a little bit of flour to the top of my rolling pin and the top of the dough. And if you didn't want to use a rolling pin, you could just use your hands and stretch it out. You could even use a wine bottle, honestly, if you don't have a rolling pin. The whole goal here is easy homemade pizza without fancy equipment, without fancy ingredients. Almost done here. I'm gonna aim for about a 10-inch pizza. Looks pretty good. Let's check her out. Boom. Now we're not gonna top it here on the counter because it would be impossible then to get onto our baking sheet. So we're gonna use the same technique that we used to transfer a pie crust into a pie plate to transfer our pizza dough onto the pizza pan. Place the dough on top, roll up your rolling pin, and down she goes. Now let's get topping. Marinara sauce is going down first. I tend to go a little bit lighter on the sauce because again, don't want a soggy crust. And I'm leaving about an inch around the border. And what I love most about this dough is I have used this to make so many variations of other things you can make with pizza dough, including garlic knots, calzones. I've even turned this into bread dough, which is what's so great about the versatility of a no yeast dough. Okay, we got our sauce on there. Next up is our mozzarella cheese. And this is such a great recipe to do with kids too. I've done this before, again, prepping the dough. You can prep it up to a day in advance and then letting the kids all do their own personal pizzas like this. They have an absolute blast. My two oldest are meat lovers, so they usually pile on the sausage. I think Julian likes sausage, I'm trying to remember his order. Sausage, pepperoni, ham, and pineapple. Very controversial. No pineapple on pizza, no.
Pineapple on pizza, yes.
Ew, ew, pineapple on pizza, ugh.
So good.
Pepperoni, yes. So, pepperoni. A little bit of that green pepper. And then controversial opinion, less controversial than pineapple, still a little bit controversial. Thoughts on olives?
Ruined.
Ruined? We need the salt. Okay, that looks pretty freaking good, even if you don't like olives. Okay, now here's the deal. It can go right into the oven like this. Sometimes I will brush a little bit of olive oil around the edges just so we get that like darker golden brown color. So hit this with a little bit of oil if you want to, but otherwise, this is going into a 400° Fahrenheit oven just until that crust gets golden brown and the cheese is bubbling. Is that not a perfect pizza? Golden brown, crispy but chewy crust. Look at that cheese, perfectly melted. My toppings, my pepperoni, cupped and crisped, exactly like they said they would. Now, because we inverted the baking sheet, we don't even have to worry about trying to get the pizza out from inside the baking sheet. All you do is slide. Boom. Let's slice and dig in. I was gonna do the pizza wheel. You guys know how much I love my gadgets. Do you hear the crunch? I don't want to like brag or be like, oh, Kelly, you should do this professionally.
I'm throwing away my pizza wheel. What is the point?
Few finishing touches. I've got some grated parm. And then my husband likes to load his up with crushed red pepper. I like to keep it exactly as is. And this one's for me. Moment of truth here. Now, if you can stand your piece of pizza up like this, you know you've got a solid dough. Holding its shape, nice crispy crust. Let's see about the texture. Whoa. I actually prefer this dough to a yeasted dough. I think the texture is so much better because we're using the baking powder as a leavener. There's just something about the aeration of the dough, the way the leavener works. It creates this incredibly fluffy, unbelievably tender, chewy crust, but it's still solid. Like you could pack on those toppings and you would not have a flimsy dough because nobody wants a flimsy pizza dough. Wow, no yeast for the win. This is called.
What's the stand? That's the.
This got a name for it. I don't know, but we're gonna use it right now. Ready?
Mm-mm.
No, he's not ready.
Okay.